fight fans. So, I want to ask you guys something. UFC 2022, was it a good year or a bad year? Um, it's hard necessarily to say it was 100% a bad year just because there were some really epic moments, really epic moments. Where like I mentioned in a previous video, that crazy knockout win for Leon Edwards. It was very heartwarming to see him win that belt in that way. That crazy fight with Yuri Prohashka versus Glover Teixeira. The way Charles Oliveira was able to get Gaethje, the way Izan was able to get Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. There was a lot of really fun matchups and fun fights that we got to see throughout this year. But it was also a lot of negativity towards this year because we didn't get to see a lot of the fights that we actually wanted to see. We wanted to see Nate Diaz fight a little bit more often, or at least a bigger fight than he did have. And that whole drama that was going down with him and Chimaev and in September, and then we had the unfortunate loss that we didn't get to see these guys fight. Like I'm talking about guys like Kobe Covington and Jorge Masvidal. They had their little beef that went to the streets, and we didn't get to see them the rest of the year. And then of course, what we really wanted to see John Jones fight, but we really couldn't get to see that. We wanted to see Conor McGregor fight. We didn't get to see that. We wanted Francis Ngannou to come back. We thought that was going to actually come back. We thought this whole squabble that they was having with Dana White in the earlier year when he fought Cyril Gahn and how he wanted to box. We thought we were going to get that, but unfortunately we didn't. So there was a lot of ups and downs this year, really. I mean, they haven't really had a year like this since Jesus, and probably in the earlier days. This was it really felt like a lot was missing this year. It wasn't necessarily the worst year, but I definitely could say it was somewhat bad because there was a lot of potential for a lot of great fights to happen. But from the outside looking in, it sounded like there was a lot of contract disputes. It sounded like there was a lot of fighters that weren't possibly ready. There was just so much drama going on the outside. There was a lot of matchups that we didn't get to see. It was very unfortunate. It was very unfortunate. I'm not complaining whatsoever because at the end of the day, it was one hell of a year as well. I saw a lot of great fights, a lot of great matchups, a lot of fun fights. Who can forget that knockout that Michael Chandler did against Tony Ferguson, that front kick? Like I mentioned, the fight of the year candidate with Michael Chandler versus Dustin Poirier, Yuri Prohashka versus Glover Teixeira. All these really good fun matchups that actually took place. But you just can't mention the goods without even mentioning the bad sometimes. Because some people won't mention those bad moments because it's just they don't want to think about it. But yeah, we got to mention them because we don't want to repeat them for 2023. We want to make sure that when what happens this year doesn't happen again next year. We want to learn from our mistakes. So we do want to see a John Jones. We do want to see Conor McGregor. We do want to see Francis Ngannou come back. Hopefully he gets this whole contract dispute situated so where he can come back. We want to see these highly anticipated matchups finally come into fruition. Because I remember years ago they were talking about John Jones versus Francis Ngannou. I think even when Francis Ngannou first won the title from Stipe back in 21, and John Jones wanted it then, and they just weren't going. It's like, no, let's let greed not take over. Let's not let greed control the business, because I promise you there's money for everybody. Everybody is going to be making money regarding that fight. That's the end of the day. There was if buts are about it. There's 100%. These guys are going to make their paper. Dana White, UFC, whoever the presidents are, they're going to make their money 100% with that fight, because that's probably the biggest fight they could possibly even make. So I just hope that they don't make those same mistakes, because we also saw what transpired this past pay-per-view, where we saw Jan Blachowicz versus Ankalaev, I believe his name is. And that even with the whole Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prohashka, nothing against them, but it still felt like something was missing there. We only got to see the heavyweight championship fight once. We didn't get to see no interim title fight. And that's what's unfortunate. Why didn't we get to see an interim title fight? Why not? You know, we should have been able to see that 100%. They should have been. We should have had a Cyril Gane or a Tai Tuivasa, even though those two guys fought earlier in the month. We should have had like somewhere like Derek Lewis and all these other fighters, and we could have had that. You know, and I don't understand why we didn't. You know, where was Stipe at? I'm not sure either. I mean, we would love to hear more from him too. And it's unfortunate what happened with Kobe Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. You know, those two guys were definitely stars. And, you know, we understand their beef ended up going on these streets and outside and things got taken care of. But I really wish I would have got to see them at least one more time this year. We got to see them settle their beef in the octagon. May have not went past that, but in the octagon back in March, and it was a fun fight. You know, Kobe Covington pretty much won a one-sided fight. But yeah, I would have loved to see that happen more. As far as Conor McGregor goes, I just felt like maybe he just wanted to take the rest of the year off and heal more. You saw him all over Instagram, you saw him all over social media, just getting jacked, getting yoked, you know, to the T and everything like that. So, and teasing about coming back, but never really talked about coming back fully to that point. And then we saw a couple of good rising stars, you know, like Paddy the Baddy. You know, he's making a name for himself. It was definitely unfortunate for him this past pay-per-view that just recently went down. I don't want to say, what was it, UFC 283? Somewhere around that. I think it was 283, 282. Forgive me if I'm drawing a blank on that one. But hopefully we're seeing him slowly transcend into a star that he is. He is becoming a star. But we would like to see him a little bit more into that rankings area. You know, because be that as it may, he is still young, but he's not super young. It's like people are getting confused. The guy is like 27, going to be 28, give or take around that age frame, if I'm correct on that. So, you know, hey, you're entering your prime years. You're getting kind of, you're not necessarily there yet, but you know, that dirty 30 is not too far away. So you might want to step it up a little bit more. And from what I saw against Jared Gordon, if I remember his name correctly, yeah, there seems to be a lot more improvements being made. My personal opinion. Could be wrong, but that's just my personal opinion. So yeah, this year was definitely, I saw a lot of missed opportunity. And I hope that that opportunity does not get missed in 2023 because I do have a lot of expectations. I understand, like, of course, there was a lot of outside drama. You know, the Jon Jones situation, I'm not sure what happened with his contract, what's going on. Same thing with Francis Ngannou with the contract, not sure what's going on there. Conor McGregor, unfortunately, was not ready. Nate Diaz just wanted out of the UFC. I would have loved to see him stay and possibly get that Conor McGregor fight. But if not, I would love to see him fight somebody else in that time frame. Tony Ferguson, it was a fun fight, but still, it was definitely one very short notice. A lot of drama going on with that Chimaev fight, so we already know that. Like I said, Masvidal, Kobe, I definitely would love to see these guys go at it. We did get to see a good star in the making, like Alexander Volkanovski doing his thing two times, title defenses. We got to see another star in the making with Alex Pereira stopping Israel Adesanya. That was a very fun fight, a very good fun fight. I'm sure they're going to make another one down the line. And then Leon Edwards becoming a star in his own right with that knockout over Kamaru Usman. There was a lot of unexpected things that really went down. Those two, especially in general. We never in a million years thought that it was ever going to happen, but it did. So that's definitely in the one for the books for year 2022. But let me know in the comments, guys, what do you think of year 2022 for the UFC? What was your favorite moment? What was your favorite not so good moment? What was just one of the things that you're gonna remember and just not gonna remember, and you would hope it doesn't happen in 2023? So let me know in the comments, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.